What if the greatest sacrifice a man ever made was never written in history, yet lived in the heart of a single child? What if a dream was never lost, but silently traded so another one could fly? This is the story of a father who sold his own dreams to raise his son, and how that sacrifice changed both of their destinies. Allie grew up with stars in his eyes. He wanted to be a singer, a voice on the radio, on stages, in the hearts of crowds. He imagined applause, lights, a family clapping for him. He imagined worth. But life seldom asks what you want. It only offers choices and consequences. Allie lived in a small town where dreams were laughed at. His father owned a tea stall. His mother stitched clothes until her fingers bled. They could barely afford his books, let alone his music lessons. Still, Allie sang in alleys, at school events, and sometimes on empty fields where the wind was his only audience. At 18, he finally got a chance, an audition in the Capitol. His heart soared. His father borrowed money. His mother whispered prayers into his suitcase. And then fate arrived disguised as responsibility. On the morning of his train journey, his father collapsed, a heart attack. Sudden, merciless. Hospital bills swallowed the family like a flood. Allie stood at the hospital gate holding two papers, an audition ticket and a medical bill. One dream, one duty. He made his choice without tears, because some sadnesses are too heavy for crying. He sold his guitar, canceled the audition, and began working in his father's tea stall. The doctor said the stall might not survive the month. Allie worked until late night, singing not to crowds, but to broken furniture and the flicker of a rusty bulb. Months turned into years. His mother passed away. His father recovered physically, but never emotionally. Allie's voice, that once felt like a river, became a trickle. He forgot melodies. Then, one evening, he heard a small cry outside the shop, a baby abandoned in an old blanket. Only a letter inside. He is innocent. I cannot raise him. Please love him if you can. Allie stared at the child. Something inside him whispered, this is where your dream begins again, not in applause, but in love. He named the child Imran, and from that day, Allie became a father. He didn't know lullabies anymore, but he learned new ones. Imran grew, and Ali's stall earned less. Inflation ate everything. Parents insulted him for being jobless. Customers mocked him for being father to a child, not his own. Yet every night, Allie hummed softly to Imran, one day, son, you will have a chance I never did. But hunger, illness, rent, it was all suffocating. So Allie sold the last thing connecting him to his dream, his old harmonium and microphone. It hurt more than hunger, but it fed his son for a week, and then for years. Allie kept trading pieces of himself so that Imran could walk forward. Imran was different from other children. While others ran behind toys, he sat by the radio listening to music. He asked Allie, Baba, why do you hum so beautifully but never sing in public? Allie smiled, hiding the pain. Some songs are meant for God alone, he whispered. Imran didn't believe that. Something in his father's eyes said more. Growing older, the boy excelled in school. Allie saved every coin, skipping meals to afford exam fees. He stitched sacks for extra money at night until his fingers bled like his mother's once had. Imran noticed. He promised his father, one day I'll make you proud. Ali wanted to believe it, but fear always sat at his table. Years passed, and Imran got a scholarship to a university in the city. Ali packed his bags with borrowed clothes, sold the shop, and emptied his life savings. At the bus station, Ali hugged him tightly. "I couldn't live my dream," he whispered, "but yours is my last hope." Imran left. Ali returned home alone to silence. He worked as a night guard in a warehouse, collecting coins for Imran's needs. He ate leftover bread, slept on a wooden chair, and counted days. Meanwhile, Imran joined a music club at his university. He sang with raw emotion. People listened, the way Ali once dreamed listeners would. One evening, his coach asked, "Where did you learn to sing like this?" Imran smiled. "My father used to hum me to sleep." The coach took him to a singing competition, televised nationally. Imran called Ali. "Baba, promise me you'll watch tonight." Ali turned on a borrowed black and white TV in the warehouse guard room. The stage lights came on. The host announced, "Up next, a young singer with a story you'll never forget, Imran Ali." Ali froze. The boy began singing. But then he stopped and spoke. "This song is not mine. It belongs to the man who gave up his voice so I could find mine, the father who sold his dreams to raise his son." Ali's tears fell silently. Imran sang, an old lullaby Ali used to hum. The nation listened, but Ali heard something else, a melody coming home. Imran won. Suddenly the phone lines rang. Scholarships arrived. Music labels called. He returned home, cameras following. Ali stood shy beside the gate, wearing his old shirt. The crowd expected Imran to run into their arms. Instead, he dropped to his knees before Ali, holding a microphone. "Baba, sing." Ali trembled. I don't remember." Imran held his hands. "You never forgot. You only hid it." And Ali sang, voice shaking at first, then rising like a buried river breaking its dam. The crowd cheered. Journalists cried. Imran whispered in his ear, "You sold your dream for me. Now it is yours again." Ali looked at him. "No, son, it was never lost. It lived inside you. Sometimes a dream doesn't die. It transforms. Sometimes greatness isn't in becoming something, but in raising someone who does. And sometimes the most heroic story is not the one lived on stage, but the quiet sacrifice made in the shadows." This was the story of the father who sold his dreams to raise his son, and in doing so, found them again. Tell us in comments what touched your heart today.